Hello fellow tankers, this is Dauntless, and before I start today's replay I just wanted to apologize for kind of falling off the grid for the last few days. My computer actually broke down and it took me a while to find the part that I needed to get it fixed, and now I'm back. So hopefully I'll be able to keep uploading content at a more regular pace. Anyway, jumping into the game here, I'm going to be playing in my Leopard PTA, the Tier 9 German medium tank. It's actually one of my favorite Tier 9 vehicles in the game. I know it's not a very popular tank just because it is overshadowed by a lot of better tanks at its tier, but I really enjoy this tank a lot. I think it really shines even in Tier 10 games just because of its 268 penetration that it gets, and also its great speed and accuracy. The map I'm going to be playing today is Cliff, and I'm going to be platooning with my buddy Red Lightning. And we had really bad games all night, and so this was one of the first games that I had that was actually decent. The enemy team has two top-tier medium tanks, and this map is primarily controlled by medium tank players. As you know, tank destroyers love to camp the 1-2 line, and even if you are victorious as a tank destroyer and take this avenue, it's very, very easy for the opponent to defend. If you were to push up here, it's very easy for them to defend as you push. So 1-2 line is kind of worthless. The 9 line can be good if you push around as a heavy tank, but immediately I noticed that we have a mouse on our team. And the mouse is just going to be a huge roadblock for anything pushing here, especially since they have really no high tier heavy tank. So I'm not really worried about the 9 line, not worried about the 1-2 line. My biggest concern is this area here and here. Now they do have some good artillery players, so this area is very vulnerable to arty. So this is kind of a no-go, especially in a paper tank like the one I'm in right now. And this really leaves me with only this area to push. And just because they do have those top tier medium tanks, it is good for me and for Red to push that area and to try to control it. Just because the middle of the map right there is where I'm going to be able to spot the enemies, especially the tank destroyers that are going to be hiding most likely in this area, and just to control the map. I can't let their mediums take the middle of the map, because if they do, they're going to be lighting up things for their arty to shoot at, and I really need to be there to keep them suppressed. So one thing I like to do, especially when I'm in a fast vehicle like the Leopard PTA, is to push up right up to where I'm going here, where the T-49 is headed, the E6 area, and try to get shots down into this corridor here where this T-62A is. If you pop up right here, you don't need any gun depression, and you can pop a shot. Now the Leopard PTA does suffer from some really long aim time, and I'm unable to connect a shot to that T-62A. But the Scorpion is pushing, and I'm going to get a follow-up shot on this guy. Aim a little bit longer that time, get a nice hit into the back of him. And I'm lit, and so if you notice, what I'm doing here is, when I'm lit, I tend to kind of wiggle back and forth. And actually, I'm not really doing that now. I'm not too concerned about arty right at the beginning because I know the bat chat does have a clip, and he hasn't shot at me yet, meaning he probably won't be shooting at me, and it's a little bit risky, but I'm just kind of playing my odds here. So I'm waiting. I'm thinking maybe that AMX or that Scorpion will pop here. I know the Scorpion is hiding behind that rock, and I think that I could maybe get a shot at him here. I see the bullet hit the rock, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I need to aim a little bit more to the left. Take another blind shot just because I can. And again, hit the rock. I'm not really sure where he is, and then he appears. And so I shouldn't have taken that blind shot, but he is not moving, so I'm able to get a nice shot into him. And he ducks down. He's not the best player, so I'm not really worried about what he's going to do. I notice now that the mouse is alone on the flank on the right, and I kind of start to think here, okay, the mouse should be fine, you know, it's only an AMX. I'm able to get the light tank kill there. And I'm noticing now that the other flank is completely overwhelmed. So Red realizes this as well, same with the Scorpion G player. And I realize it is time to try to support this mouse. Now, the Leopard PTA being the paper vehicle that it is, I can't really engage the front line because I will just get destroyed. And if you've ever played the Leopard or the Leopard PTA, any shot that you take that pens your front will take out your ammo rack or your engine, and it's very, very frustrating. and you really have to conserve that repair kit that you have in the very beginning, just because you know that something is going to get damaged on your tank, and I can't really afford to lose my gun or my ammo rack that early in the game. So I'm keeping my distance here, and I'm trying to get some shots in, but then I realize, okay, our guys totally got this. We got overwhelming support. Most of the time when your team asks for help, like that mouse was, no one responds, but our team was very responsive and we had overwhelming help. But then at this moment I realized, okay, the middle is now completely open, and a random grill appears. He puts a shot into me, I'm able to put one back into him, and right here I know that I can beat his reload. He has what, a 15-16 second reload, and I pop over here and I put one into his tracks. I know that Artie is probably going to be looking at him now, and I want to keep him tracked out in the open. Our Artie fires and misses, our second one shoots, and he is unable to traverse his turret any further, and I'm able to get the kill. And those are the moments that you have to realize are very, very important in World of Tanks, where you know, if that grill was able to back away, I would be kind of stuck here. I wouldn't be able to be poking like this and getting any shots. But being really aggressive like that and realizing that you can take a hit or you can beat his reload, and getting in there, getting the track and letting Artie work is kind of what separates the good players from the bad, knowing what your tank is capable of. I've seen so many players where you know that the enemy is reloading their clip in an autoloader and they just sit back because they're scared of being hit by them for some reason. And it's like, know what you can do, especially in endgame like this where there's not a lot of tanks left and you have some HP to, that you can use. It's okay to be aggressive, and this AMX 5100 couldn't be more obvious on the fact that he's reloading. If he had pushed me, I would not be able to kill him, but then he could get 2 or 3 shots into me before I could reload, and I would not have won that fight. So I was kind of cautious pushing in, but he was obviously reloading, he was running away, and I was able to get a couple good shots in. So I don't push over to that side because I know the PTA has pretty bad gun depression, and I want to be able to get some shots into this low. Now this low is a good player, and he pops one to the side of my tank. And so I decide to peek over here. I don't want to get hit by Artie, but I think that this ridge can kind of protect me a little bit. So I'm waiting for my tank to get unlit, and then I'm able to get another shot into this low. That was a lucky shot. I think my bullet just kind of went to the right direction there and got a kill or got the hit there. And the low dies, and I realize that the Artie can only be hiding there where I'm aiming, so I pre-aim, waiting for the guys to get a light on him, and I am able to get a nice shot in before he dies. So that was a really quick game, but I hopefully was able to showcase how you can play the Leopard PTA a little bit better. It is good. I was able to relocate really quickly to try to help our team. I realized I didn't have to, and I was able to push back. That game did progress very quickly, but I was able to get 3,400 damage and some nice assist damage. Now, a lot of players that I've seen play the PTA end up getting in way too fast, way too aggressive, getting themselves crippled, whether they get their ammo rack or gun or engine taken out, and they're worthless for the rest of the game, and or they go in and they get just completely destroyed trying to act as a light tank, which this tank is not. You can play it as a light tank if you really want to, but it's really not cut out for that job as well as a light tank. And so for the first half of the game, you really want to conserve your HP like I did, get those sneaky shots in the best you can. In the second half, you can act as an assassin and wipe out those low hit point tanks. Anyway guys, hopefully you found this video informative. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you give it a like. And if you subscribe to my channel, I will be uploading more content like this in the future. So once again, thanks for watching. You've been awesome, and I'll talk to you guys later.